here's why you should discuss your estate plan with your heirs, with your family. In a family, as you know, the kids will have different interpretations of what mom or what dad told them about who gets what. That is, if mom and dad even spoke with you, nonetheless, the kids are going to come up with their own interpretation. So having this discussion about your estate plan is something that as an estate planning and elder law attorney, I do recommend. Now, how much detail are you giving? What are you going to say? So let's say that you are, you're a widower now, and your wife has passed, and you have 2 kids and 3 kids. They're going to be asking you, hey dad, do you have an estate plan set up? Because they realize, rightfully so, that when you pass away, they are going to have to do some work to administer your estate. Now, many of us have been taught, well, it's not polite to ask about money, it's not polite to talk about this, etc. When it comes to estate planning, no, that's not what we recommend. Tell your family. Now, you don't have to tell your family about, oh, I have this much money, etc. You can if you want, but you don't have to. But what I do recommend that you talk to your kids about is, kids, I have an estate plan. I went to a very good estate planning and elder law attorney, and here is where I keep my estate plan. And here's the lawyer, so that if anything happens to me, not just if I pass, but if something happens to me, I become disabled, that's the lawyer you should go talk to, because they prepared the estate plan for me. How about the durable powers of attorney? Yes, you should tell your kids about the powers of attorney for finances and for health and what your health care decisions are, especially because usually one or more of the kids, and maybe in some successor order, the oldest first, the middle, the youngest, or vice versa, they are going to be your decision makers. So you need to tell them, I've appointed you my attorney in fact for finances under my durable power of attorney. And because I've done that, I want you to know where I keep all my important papers. I keep most of these things in my estate planning notebook or in my file cabinet, so that they know if they have to step up and take over and manage your finances, they can do so. That's the whole idea with having a plan. Similarly, let whomever your healthcare agent, that's the person you appointed under your durable power of attorney for healthcare, let them know, hey, you are my healthcare agent, and have that discussion. If end of life is diagnosed by the doctor, do you or do you not want heroic measures to keep you going even if there's no hope of recovery? I mean, these aren't easy discussions to have, but they are really important discussions. So when it comes to the durable powers of attorney and the healthcare directive, living will, absolutely talk with those people who will be your decision makers. When it comes to your will, what should you be telling your kids? Well, tell them, if you want, what's going to happen. It's going to go 3 ways. Or you can tell them nothing. Whatever it is that you believe would be helpful. And you're saying, maybe, Lynn, I'm looking for you. What is helpful to tell the kids? Well, at least tell the kids that you have a will and where it is located, and that you will have with that information where your financial documents are, your accounts, the deed to your house, all of these things. Tell the kids that there will be a personal property list that says, who gets what in terms of those personal property items, like the jewelry, the china that nobody wants, the car, all of those things. If you are comfortable, go ahead and talk with your family about those things. I don't always say give a copy of the will. Why? You might change the will. And so when you do change the will, we don't want old copies out there that people can look at and say, well, no, this was the will. No, here's a newer will. How was a newer will procured? Etc. So do have a discussion. Do at the bare minimum, let your family know that you have a good estate plan And if anything happens, here's where the documents can be found, and reach out to the attorney that drafted those documents.